Hey everybody, and welcome to your trapezoid notes. So right now I need you to make sure that you have gotten out a clean sheet of notebook paper and that you title it Solving Area of Trapezoids Notes. And then you're going to want to draw your picture of the trapezoid, like right here. Then we're going to define what a trapezoid is, and remember you can pause this tape at any time so that you can catch up with what I'm telling you to do. So we're going to start with what is a trapezoid. Well, as you can see, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, which means it has 4 sides. Okay, and that quadrilateral, as compared to the rectangle, the parallelogram, and the square, it only has 2 sets of parallel sides. You can see those 2 sets here and here. And by 2 sets, I mean 1 set. It only has 1 set of parallel sides. See how these sides bend inward? Eventually, those 2 sides are going to cross over each other. That's what we call perpendicular. So that's not what we want. With a trapezoid, it should only have 1 set of parallel sides, and then you have a set that is not parallel. So again, it has only 1 set of parallel sides. So the next thing you want to know about a trapezoid is, well, how do I solve for the area of it? So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and you should still have your picture, and you really need to make sure that you have labeled your side lengths here. So we need to know, what is the area formula, or how do I solve for the area of a trapezoid? So here is your area formula for the area of a trapezoid. And you know how I like to do everything in order. So it's going to be area equals B with a little 1 at the bottom, which stands for base 1, plus base 2. Then you're going to multiply by the height and divide everything by 2. Okay, so again, that's base 1, so the top, plus base 2, plus the bottom, times your height, and remember you want that to go straight up and down like this. And then you're going to divide everything by 2. Remember I kept telling you if it starts with a T, it's divided by 2. Triangles and trapezoids divided by 2. Remember that. It's good stuff. And remember this B with a tiny, oops, we don't want an F. Tiny 1 at the bottom means base 1. Okay. B with a little 2 at the bottom, that means base 2. So that's your top and your bottom. So I'm going to kind of draw that out for you. So right here, well, let's point it at the actual measurement, why don't we? So this is base 1, and this is base 2. So let's work out the area to this. So you're going to have area equals base 1, which is 6, plus base 2, which is 12, times your height, which is 4, and then we're going to divide by 2. Okay, so again, that's base 1 plus base 2 times your height divided by 2. So when I work this out in parentheses, I get 18 times 4 divided by 2. Now you might want to break out your calculator here, or maybe you can do it in your head. I'm going to use the calculator just to double check myself here. So 18 times 4, that gives me 72, but then I have to remember to divide by 2. So the area of this trapezoid is equal to 36 meters squared. All right, so we've done our first trapezoid, so let's try another one. We're going to look for those same measurements, base 1, base 2, height, and then divide everything by 2. Okay, so here we are again. We've got two trapezoids, two of them here. As you can see, one has just the one line going up right here, and then we also have the two slanted line measurements of 8. And remember, if you're not given a unit, you just write the word units and add the squared when you're dealing with area. Down here, this one looks a little bit different. Yesterday you guys learned about composite figures, and if you notice, this almost looks like a composite figure, and in reality a trapezoid is a composite figure. It has a rectangle or a square in the center, and then it has two triangles on either side. So you can use more than one method to solve this one, but we'll get to that after we do this first one. So let's set up our formula. Again, that formula is area equals base 1, so B with a little 1 at the bottom, plus base 2, close your parentheses, then times your height, and divided by 2. And the reason we have that base 1 and base 2 in parentheses with the plus sign is because of order of operations. In order of operations, you have parentheses, which is your first step. So you always want to add that base 1 and base 2 first. If I didn't have the parentheses, it would just say base 1 plus base 2 times the height and then divide by 2. And we know that multiplication and division come before addition. So that's why we put parentheses around it, so that we have to do that first. Okay, so moving forward, let's fill in our missing values here. We've got area is going to be equal to base 1, so the top, which is 10, plus the bottom, which is 14, close your parentheses, multiplied by your height. Now be careful because you have those slanted sides, but remember when you go to the doctor, you don't stand at a slant to get your height taken. You stand straight up and down. So we're going to take that 7, which is the height, and then divide by 2. So let's work that out in our calculator over here once we get everything set up. So I can do 10 plus 14 in my head, and I'm sure many of you can as well. So 10 plus 14 is going to give me 24, then multiplied by 7, and then divide by 2. So let's punch that into our calculator here. So 24 times 7, okay, that gives me 168, but then I need to divide by 2. So my area of this trapezoid is going to be equal to, having some technical difficulties. I don't know what's happening, guys. Let's just delete this T. Okay, so again, my area is equal to 84 units squared, because I'm not given a specific unit in this problem. Okay, down here we're going to solve two ways. So you can solve it like a composite figure because it's still a trapezoid. You can solve it like a composite figure since it's already broken up, or you can solve it as if it's a trapezoid. Personally, I think it might be a little faster to solve it as a trapezoid, but you have to be careful because look at all these measurements on the bottom base. You've got 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 4 centimeters. You are going to have to add all those together to get the entire bottom base. If you'd prefer, just solve it as a composite figure and remember to divide by 2 when you're dealing with your triangles. So I'm going to solve it as a trapezoid first, and then I'm going to solve it as a composite figure. So as a trapezoid, I know I need area equals base 1, and I know you guys think I'm crazy for writing out the formula every time, but it really does help you to look for those things that you need. So base 1 plus base 2 times the height, and then divide everything by 2. So your area is going to be equal to base 1, the top, which is 5, plus your bottom. So here's where you have to be careful. I need to add 3 plus 5 plus 4 to get the entire bottom. So 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 plus 4 is 12. So my entire bottom base is worth 12 centimeters, times the height, which is 5, and then divide everything by 2. Okay, so now I've got area is equal to 17 times 5 divided by 2. So I'm going to plug that into the calculator over here, clear it out. 17 times 5, and then divide by 2. Okay, so I got 42.5, and let's make sure that the calculator did that correctly, because remember it doesn't know order of operations. So I'm going to plug it in one more time. So 17 times 5 equals 85, and then I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, good, it's right. So area, here we go. Area is equal to 42.5 centimeters, and then we need our squared. All right, so that's how to solve this one as a trapezoid, but if I was going to do it as a composite figure, I'd do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to do it as a composite figure. So for this triangle right here, it says that the height is 5 and the base is 4. So I know that for a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. So I've got 5 times 4, which is 20, and then divide that by 2. So this triangle is 10 centimeters squared. Okay, so right now, again, I am solving this as if it is a composite figure. I'm solving it as if there are multiple shapes within this shape. So next, I've got my square, and I know it's a square because every single side says it's 5 centimeters. So for this square, I'm going to do base times height. Okay, so 5 times 5, which gives me 25 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's 25 centimeters squared. And then for the last shape that I have in this particular figure, I'm trying to pick a good color here. Let's go, nah, I don't like orange. Let's do purple. Y'all know how I love purple. Okay, so right here you've got this triangle. So you want the base times the height, and then divided by 2 for that triangle. So base is 3 times the height, which is 5, and then you divide everything by 2. Okay, so that's 15 divided by 2. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5 centimeters squared. So now we have to add all those measurements together to get the final area, because remember, if it's a composite figure, it's multiple shapes that have been put together. So we need to add 10 centimeters plus 25 centimeters plus 7.5 centimeters squared. So all of those need to be added together. So that's going to give me, let's see here, we've got 10 plus 25, I know that's 35, plus 7.5. So I'm going to have to add in my decimal back here. That's throwing us back a few units, huh? Okay, so line it all up. 5, 7 plus 5 is 12, carry the 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. Oh look, 42.5. That's exactly the same as what I got with the trapezoid. So again, you can choose, if you notice that it looks like a composite figure and composite figures are easier for you to solve, then go for it. But if not, just use your trapezoid formula right here. Base 1 plus base 2 times your height divided by 2. And I do suggest maybe adding this to your note sheet that you already have. Remember, I had it clipped to the board yesterday and we only had the trapezoid that was blank. So you can add this formula in where it says formula and then solve your trapezoid over on the side. All right, guys, so now that we're done with the notes, you can pick up your worksheet from your sub for the day and get started on that. Email me if you have any questions. I may be a little slow getting back to you, but let me know. See ya on Monday.